Congressman Charlie Rangel is coming under fire for failing to disclose hundreds of thousands of dollars in income and assets. So if the head of the tax writing committee, which he is, cannot keep track of his own finances, why aren't Democrats holding him more accountable?
Well, Linda Chavez was a nominee for Labor Secretary back in 2001, but had to bow out of the nomination because she gave money to an immigrant who lived in her home 10 years prior. She thinks Charlie Rangel should step aside. Good morning to you, Linda.
Great to be with you, Dave.
How hypocritical is this by the Congress, by the administration, to allow a man to be in charge of a committee that writes tax law despite all the infractions here?
Oh, I don't know. The poor fellow just simply doesn't understand the tax code. He simply forgets that he has $250,000 in a bank account. By the way, that bank account was in the Congressional Federal Credit Union. Had to amend his disclosure forms this week. It's really, this stinks to high heaven. And what is really unbelievable is that Nancy Pelosi, who came into office planning to sweep the place clean, enter a new ethical era, suddenly doesn't think it's so bad when a Democratic congressman, a very powerful one, is accused of all of these transgressions.
And in fact, Linda, there's been an ethics committee investigation into what Charlie Rangel's been doing for well over a year now. What's taking so long?
Well, you have to wonder, but actually there are several investigations. This man is accused of so many things, it's almost hard to keep count. He basically was getting favors from developers in New York City and in the district that he represented. He got basically interest-free loans for a house that he purchased in the Dominican Republic, and then he started renting out that place, got some very hefty rentals, over $1,000 a night in some instances, forgot to report that on his income tax, and yet he wants the rest of us not only to pay our taxes, he wants to increase taxes by more than 5%. Right. So it's really a double standard here.
Yeah. And Linda, and now the most interesting part of this is the committee that is now going to investigate Charlie Rangel. It turns out that he's given money to 3 of the 5 Democrats charged with investigating him. How big a problem is that, and is that what's stalling this investigation?
Well, you have to wonder. And what I wonder also is why is it just the House that's investigating? We're talking about questions about evasion of income taxes. Why is there not a federal probe of this? I mean, we saw several instances back when Republicans were in power where the Justice Department came in and started launching investigations. You had Duke Cunningham went to jail, Bob Ney went to jail, Tom DeLay had to step aside his position both in Congress and his leadership position in the House. We have a real double standard here, and you've got Democrats who came to power claiming that they were going to be more ethical than Republicans, who have many more ethical problems that we saw back during the Republican years.
All right, Linda Chavez, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Thanks, Linda. Coming up, your tax dollars helping convicted sex offenders pay their